Hi you guys, so welcome to day 17 of our bioenergy and wellbeing reset. So I'd like to focus today on the bioenergy side to talk about resentment, talk about lack of forgiveness, how we can release this from our system with our bioenergy practice. And on the wellbeing side, it's just to focus on a lovely practice that we can do to check in with ourselves to see how we're doing emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually as well. So on the bioenergy side of things, it's to look at resentment. So what is resentment all about, and where do we hold it in our systems, and what impact does it have on us as well? So resentment can chew us up. It can take over. It can be a dominant thing that's there if we don't allow ourselves to release it, support ourselves to release it as well. So holding resentment towards someone else or holding lack of forgiveness towards somebody else is really creating pain and imbalance within our own systems as well. Now, this isn't to say that we have to condone the behaviour of somebody else. We don't have to condone the behaviour of somebody else, and we can choose to remove ourselves from a situation in relation to somebody else's behaviour that we don't want, we don't appreciate, and all that side of things. But the actual holding of the imbalance of the resentment and the lack of forgiveness is what can be damaging to our systems and what can keep us out of balance in certain areas. So with our bioenergy practice, if this is a challenge for you, or for ourselves, if we're working on ourselves as well, we identify where we're holding this in our system. We identify what it's related to. We identify the impacts that it is having on our system, and we release all of that with our bioenergy practice. So we have tools and structures and practices within our bioenergy diploma course. Our next course starts tomorrow on Saturday the 20th of May, and we run for 8 months, one weekend a month for the 8 months. So within that program, we'll be teaching our students, among many other things, how to release negative emotion, emotional shock, emotional trauma, emotional stress. And part of this would be resentment and lack of forgiveness and all of this area that we can have within our system. And it can be, recent things that we might resent. It could be things that we see on the news, stories that we read. It could be things that are not directly related to us, but we associate with it, that we can hold resentment for. It can be things that have happened in our lives many, many years ago where we haven't fully released the trauma of a situation, or the trauma of our perception of somebody's behaviour, or the trauma of an event that we were involved in, or whatever it may be. It's different obviously for everybody in different situations. So it's really trying to unravel back through that story to see and unravel back through the events and unravel back through the behaviour, the interactions that we may have had, to see where has this situation impacted me, where I'm now holding resentment, and I may be holding lack of forgiveness towards people as well. So it's allowing ourselves to release that, looking at the belief systems that we may hold in our subconscious related to this as well, where we may perceive that it's of benefit for us to hold this resentment there, that on some level we are protecting ourselves by holding the resentment or the lack of forgiveness, and we're protecting ourselves from a similar situation, similar events, similar behaviours, all of that repeating itself again in our lifetime so that we won't have another impact. But it doesn't actually work that way. The resentment or the lack of forgiveness, all of these negative emotions are supposed to be used as tools that we have to navigate our way through life, to show us that I don't like the situation, or I want to remove myself from the situation, or whatever it is around that. So the energy of these emotions is supposed to flow in and out. They're not supposed to get stuck in our systems, and if they get stuck in our systems, they create an imbalance in our system. They block the flow of energy. They create a stagnation in the energy, and that keeps us from experiencing full well-being, optimal health, optimal levels of well-being. So for us to experience full well-being, optimal well-being, we need to be able to identify these things that are holding us out of balance and allow them to release. So we work to unravel that and support our clients or ourselves or our family or friends, whoever we're working with, to unravel and support them to get to a place where they say, I can release this. I'm not condoning, but I can release. So that I can have full balance, and health and well-being back in my system in relation to this area. And that's the benefit for us really with the bioenergy practice that we can use as well. On the wellbeing side of things then, and the diploma course that I mentioned earlier that we're starting tomorrow, I'll pop the link into the comments if you'd like to join. We still have a couple of places left if anybody would like to come along to that course as well. It's an amazing experience with lifelong skills that we go through within that program as well. So on the well-being side of things, it's just to take a breath in each day, or whenever you feel that this particular exercise or tool resonates with you, just to check in, to see, deep breath in all the way down to your toes, and just check in, how do I feel mentally in this moment? How do I feel mentally in this moment? Where is my mental health, my thoughts? Have I ruminating thoughts? Positive thoughts, negative thoughts? What are the wheel of thoughts? What are they at the moment? What type of narrative is playing in my mind at the moment? How do I feel mentally in this moment? And then how do I feel emotionally in this moment? So checking in on your heart space, your emotional health. Emotionally, how do I feel in this moment? And if there's emotions that are coming up for you, checking, where do I feel these? Where are these within my physical body or my system at the moment? Where do I feel them? My heart, my throat, my head, my abdomen, where can I feel them? How do I feel physically in this moment? How does my physical body feel? Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel tension? Does it feel peace, calm? Does it feel it needs to release, relax, let go? How does my physical body feel in this moment? And obviously we do this practice in a quiet space for ourselves if we can. That could be sitting on the bus beside somebody, it could be sitting on the train, it could be in the car, when you're stopped, obviously. It could be out for a walk, or just sitting peacefully somewhere, just for a few moments. And how do I feel spiritually? So how do I feel in this moment regarding my connection to everything? My connection to all other things, all other beings, my connection to my source, to divine source energy, creator energy, God energy, whatever term you put on this. How do I feel about my connection? Does it feel clear? Does it feel like there's a connection there? Do I feel connected to a bigger picture? So how do I feel? And just to bring some healing to this, some healing light to this, all of this that we've just discussed, mental health, emotional, physical, spiritual. Just see a ball of light above your head if you'd like to do this visualization. And in this ball we have unconditional love. And we allow this ball of light to start coming down through our head, all the way down through our body, filling our whole body up with unconditional love. To every cell, every molecule, every atom, allow unconditional love to flow to those areas. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we let and allow unconditional love to flow to these areas? So we allow this in, giving it permission to flow to all the cells, all the molecules, all the atoms. Unconditional love. If you'd like to bring in other things, peace, harmony, anything else you'd like to bring in. And allowing this to flow through to your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, your spiritual well-being, your connection to everything that is. So allowing this unconditional love to flow to all parts of your life. Fill up your heart space, flow down through your arms, your torso, all through your legs, down to your feet, filling up every single part of you. And taking a deep breath in when you feel ready. So it's a nice practice to do if it resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed what we talked about today. Thank you as always for connecting in, and talk to you again soon. Thanks guys.